It's your boy One Live Stu coming to you live from Stewart Media and Entertainment for a quick few moments with a special person. First of all, I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you all for paying attention. But when I tell you about special, I mean I'm honored to do what we're about to do, okay? The Two Live Stews mentioned on the last show, because every Monday and Thursday we come on live at 7 a.m. Of course, you can catch us wherever time allows at YouTube, Two Live Stews, www.twolivestewsyoutube.com and www.twolivestewsfacebook.com. But other than that, on Monday's show, we mentioned how we've signed up a new analyst to spend some time with us in the doghouse and on Stewart Media and Entertainment. And I say we signed up an analyst. Typically, you would say we're signing up a football analyst. We're signing up a NASCAR analyst. We're signing up an NBA analyst. We're signing up an MLB analyst. We're signing up a basketball analyst. We're signing up an Olympic analyst. No. This analyst I'm about to introduce to y'all is a sports analyst. And not just sports, okay? Not just football, not just basketball. I'm talking about sports at a very extremely high level. He's connected. I know him extremely well. And the guy that I'm introducing or about to introduce to y'all is none other than the great Joe Hamilton. This guy played in the National Football League. He was a teammate of mine when we were at Georgia Tech, a Yellow Jacket. I've told several stories about him on this podcast and on national radio when Doug and I were doing national radio. This guy played basketball and won a state championship. Same with football. This guy's a letterman in everything that he's ever done. This guy is just a phenomenal person and a phenomenal player, and I'm very happy to introduce him into the doghouse, none other than Mr. Heisman runner-up in 1999 to Ron Dane, who shouldn't have won it. It should have been him, Joe Hamilton, with your boy One Live Stu, Ryan Stewart, and Stewart Media and Entertainment. Joe, good evening, sir. How are you doing today?
Hey, put me in the game, Coach. You got me fired up. Put me in the game. I have been working out. I am stretched. Don't worry about my hamstring. Just let us be me at the free throw line for one out of two or 1-and-1. Let me be inside the red zone on the goal line to go if it was on the football field. But, man, it's passion. I feel honored, Stu. I feel honored, brother.
Listen, I'm the one that's honored, man, and we got a lot of stuff to get into and a little bit of time to do it. We're very excited about you being one of the analysts on Stewart Media and Entertainment, spending some time in the doghouse with the Two Live Stews, and also we're in the process of creating your own platform, so we're looking forward to doing all of that. Did I tell the truth about the high school championship, Joe, and the college championship? I'm sorry, not college. Did I tell the truth about the high school championship in football and basketball? That's true, right, Joe?
No, not football. Not football. We got defeated twice in high school. Just was not able to get over the top. But certainly in basketball, we held up that trophy. I don't think one time out of high school, I missed going to the state championship. Also played as an 8th grader, was a 6-man. Grew up pretty fast, but one thing about it, in the low country of South Carolina, man, we played ball with passion. You best believe, like you introduced me, we know the game. We're not dilly-dally. We know sports, and we know competition very, very well.
Looking forward to using you as an analyst when it comes to all the sports and things that are going on, even in the world of hot topics. We'll talk some on-the-stuff fields and situations and what you're doing now. But before we get into one or two things tonight, you're a father of 2 beautiful kids, both of them athletes. And the quarterback that you were, as I mentioned, Heisman runner-up in 99 while at Georgia Tech, the quarterback that you were, you're now training/coaching your own son, who is incredible quarterback and superstar athlete himself on the high school level. Talk about that real quick, Joe, just about you and being a dad and your son now being a quarterback, a junior in high school. Talk about that briefly, and then we'll get into some topics.
Yeah, Stu, one thing about it, man, is 3 different roles, and I love each and every one of them. Skylar Hamilton, my son, is getting ready to be able to learn from a Hall of Famer as a quarterback, coaching him up as far as X's and O's, reads, drops, anticipation, coverages. So he has the luxury of that. Then I can transform and be just a football fan, watching him as well grow, develop, make some mistakes, and coach him just what it means to be a teammate, what it means to be unselfish, that. And then I can watch him as being a father, supporting him, not always being hard, knowing when to pull off a little bit, knowing when to push a button and give him, the old saying what my dad used to say is that, hey, do you have anything left? Did you give it your all? And if that's the case, win or lose, as a father, that's where I want to be. So I have 3 different roles I can, give to Skylar, and I'm trying to be a master in all 3 roles.
Captain of my own faith, master of my own soul. I'm curious to if you are the dad that's overbearing, the dad that's you are a half centimeter off on this step. I'm curious to how you, one of the best quarterbacks to play college football, how you tutor, mentor, and bring your son along in the same game. Are you overbearing? Are you persistent? Are you hard on him? Or do you let him do his own thing and just kind of step in when you think it's needed? How do you move forward in that direction with your son, Joe?
I don't step in at all as far as on the game. While the game is going, I might say something jogging off the field at halftime. I might say, hey, call out loud. My voice is very distinctive to him. Hey, JoJo, settle in. Those are the only type things, because the one thing you don't want as a quarterback to overthink it, to not be in the flow of the game. And whatever you want to say about me knowing the game of football and quarterback play, I'm not in that particular game. So I want him to be able to feel that game, see the rush, feel the rush, without having me in the back of his head, move out the pocket, step up in the pocket. I don't know from the side. He's in that game feeling it. So most of my talk to my son is about, after the game, how do you feel, what you saw, tell me about some coverages. But basically when he's playing, I'm there to support him. I don't want to be bothered. Don't hit me up with a lot of different things as far as what else is going on, less football talk. But I'm super duper proud of him, man, and how he's evolving as a quarterback and as a leader.
You see that right there, bruh's old.
That's right.
Every Q in America should be drinking Southern Edge. Steve Scott, Beta Mu 92, myself, Zy Spring 90, and you, Delta Kappa 92. Every bro in America should scan this QR code and check out Southern Edge.
They look so sweet. No. I wish I could taste the moment. Been around the world, hey, but there's nothing like that Southern Edge, girl. No. I've been around the world, whoa. Nothing like that Southern Edge, girl. Yeah. Okay, now pour me a one. Better yet, make it soon. They say the night is young. When it's cup like the fountain in you shining. Tell me what your sign is. Tell me what you dream, little lady. I could buy by the bottle, I promise. Yeah, because you look so sweet. I wish I could take some moment. Girl, you look so damn sweet.
Your boy, One Live Stewart, Ryan Stewart, having a sit-down conversation with the man, the myth, the legend, the Heisman runner-up in 1999, Georgia Tech standout quarterback, Joe Hamilton. Spent some time in the doghouse. I just mentioned Georgia Tech. You got a Georgia Tech sweatshirt on. Today, you can't see my Georgia Tech paraphernalia because I'm wearing a pair of Georgia Tech underwear. That being said, I know you're not affiliated on the staff with the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets anymore, but I want your thoughts on how they're doing as a season so far this year. I want your thoughts on the Brent Key regime, Brent Key being an offensive lineman of yours when you were on the flats at Georgia Tech, now the head coach. Give me a quick rundown in your thoughts on the season that Georgia Tech is having so far. 5-3, correct?
No, sir. 6-4.
6-4. Bowl bound 6-4. Okay. Bowl bound 6-4. Brent Key's in his third year now, doing an outstanding job.
Yeah, second full-time year, 3.5 years, 2.5 years.
Right. So give me your thoughts on the season so far for the Yellow Jackets and the Brent Key regime to this point.
Well, I love the fact, starting off with, he came under George O'Leary, and George O'Leary wanted to get back to our roots, Georgia Tech roots. And when you talk about Tech roots, it's Tech tough. Tech tough can summarize a lot of different things about being a student athlete at, the Georgia Institute of Technology. And Brent Key knows about that. And what I also love about him is that he's going to go after all recruits, former regimes and former head coaches. We don't need to call anything. We don't need to do that. But what we can say is that, just because Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama is recruiting those guys and they're highly touted, don't take yourself out of the mix. Put your hat in there, tell them and sell the story about what you'll get a 40-year degree if you was to go or go on that campus down there, Bobby Dodd Stadium. And so when he gets in there, he can talk a message and sell it, and he can really, really sell it like you and I can sell it because we've been there. We've gone up that hill to the D.M. Smith building. We know what it requires, and that's to start off with. And now he's able to coach and correlate and be in the middle, in the how to knows by being under Coach O'Leary, being under Nick Saban, winning a national championship, having a reward or an award for being the best recruiter, offensive line guy. That's Brent Key. So now where I see that you on Saturday against the top 4 team in the Miami Hurricanes, you allowed your offensive coordinator, Buster Faulkner, to go with a 2-headed monster quarterback system. And not just a 2-headed monster quarterback system. You went there with a true freshman that was asked to be the quarterback that passed the ball. So now, and a lot of people don't really realize it, but I realized it early that Brent Key announced that Haynes King was going to be starting like Wednesday. So when you announce it Wednesday and early on in the week, everybody would think that he is really, really healthy. You don't get a complete Haynes King when he comes into the game, but he was not completely healthy. So, but that's what he wanted. Buster Faulkner, Chris Winkie. Do not underestimate the staff. Again, what Brent Key put together, the surrounding. They have 3 quarterbacks, including the starter. That's Chris Winkie, Heisman Trophy winner. And Buster Faulkner played played at a high level in Georgia as a high school quarterback. So all those guys in the room drawing up a game plan that's quarterback friendly, being able to tell those guys exactly what to expect, that was genius. Yes, Stu, we all know it's a team effort, offense, defense, special teams. But man, I'm gonna say that the game plan offensively from Buster Faulkner running the game up 275 yards rushing, and that's Miami gave up a lot of points this season. They sure did as far as shootouts, a lot of points. But Miami was the number 8 run stopping team in the nation before they ran up into the Yellow Jackets, busting up 275 yards on them. So that game plan, so Brent Key's allowing his coaches to coach. He's filling in where he needs to fill in, and there's nothing better that soothes my soul when a head coach can be involved in offense, defense, and special teams.
You mentioned the 4 losses and the team being 6-4, being bowl bound for the second time back-to-back, something that hadn't happened in a while. We're very excited about that and happy about that. Joe, we took a tough loss to Syracuse, lost that game 31-20. I think that's a game that we should have won. Louisville handled us, but we had control of that game in my mind too. Did a lot of things that we shouldn't have done. Tough game versus Notre Dame. Really didn't play to win that game. Tough game versus Virginia Tech. I think that was probably a better team than us on that particular day. They were a better matchup. We got North Carolina State University coming up, and we also have Georgia between the hedges in Athens. Give me your take on these last 2 games, and if you think we can find a way to win both of them and/or one, because the way the Bulldogs are playing, I think they can be had, but I don't want to stick my chest out and hold my nose up saying that. Give me your thoughts on the NC State game coming up and the Georgia game coming up and how you think Tech will finish this season.
Yeah, there are no excuses, Stu, and I will not make any, but the Notre Dame game and the Virginia Tech game, that was with Zach Pyron, the backup quarterback. But again, the starter didn't start, so you got to play with what you have. So no excuses. Yeah, you kind of want to win the Virginia Tech game. However, Georgia Tech cannot afford to do what they did last Saturday. And next Thursday, not tomorrow, but next Thursday, the 21st, come up at home. You remember the Thursday night games when you and I was playing? Every single year, the Yellow Jackets would be on Thursday night football without the shadow of a doubt. You cannot lay an egg. You cannot lay an egg. You have to build on that momentum as far as beating the number 4 team in the nation, and then building on it, beating another ACC foe to 7-4 looks much, much, much better than 6-5. It's going to, and then we don't count chickens before they hatch. We don't say that we don't have no chance against Georgia, but Georgia is a better program right now. No, they and that's just the bottom line. 2 national championships in the last 3 years, yes, but that's on paper. When you're talking about the belief that that Brent Key gives to his team, that they can win each and every game, that they're going to fight, they're going to be able to look in the mirror, and that tank is going to be empty. That's why I have hope. That's why I have hope that we can go out there and execute. And remember, Buster Faulkner was on that staff down there with Bobo and Coach Kirby Smart, so he knows some of those players. But more importantly than anything, you cannot let NC State come in your house after having such a great win in homecoming and upset the Yellow Jackets. That just cannot happen. I can't fathom that.
The best of the Two Live Stews experience.
People want me to talk about dating a celebrity. People want me to date Sexy Red. That shit ain't going to happen.
Well, but real quick,
I would never even throw my darn line in the Sexy Red water.
Listen,
Ooh,
if you're about the business of this show, and you can come up on Sexy Red, that would be huge for us.
Man, you crazy. I wouldn't put your penis in Sexy Red. I cleaned that up the best way I could.
God is good.
You gotta be
and
kidding
Lord, please
me.
forgive us. Lord, please forgive us.
God
is good all the time, and all the
kidding
time
me.
God is good. If you don't know him and need to find him and show him love, that's all he's showing you. Nothing but love. Yeah, man. If you got your PP on these streets, man, you need to put it in something that's going to benefit the show. Straight up. Take one for the team.
Nah, that's not going to happen. I'll sexy your red.
The best of the Two Live Stews experience.
Hey, people, it's your boy Chubb Rock. There's a new sheriff in town, Southern Edge Beverage Company. And let me tell you, you better taste the edge. Watch this. Taste the edge. Sweet tea vodka, salted caramel whiskey will rock you. The taste is smooth and refreshing. Gluten-free, no harsh burn for the blessing. Make it neat. Have it on ice. Buy both bottles. Have it twice. Mix with your favorite fruit juice. Nice. Mix a liqueur combo. Hype. We're black owned. Yeah. Find us in Atlanta telephone. College Park. Check this bone. Sweet tea, vodka, fix your fam. Southern Edge Beverages, Instagram. Salted caramel whiskey on the edge. New sheriff in town, baby. Taste the edge. Southern Edge can be found in the following locations in the metro Atlanta area. Total Wine and More in Alpharetta. Camp Creek World of Beverages. Prohibition Liquor. Firewater Package. Crest Wine and Spirits. And Bim's Package Store. It's time to taste the edge. Southern Edge, baby.
Your boy, One Last Two, Ryan Stewart, spent some time with Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, Hall of Famer Joe Hamilton. Very excited about talking to him, getting some thoughts and ideas. We're going to stay in the world of college football just briefly, and we're going to finish things on one NFL topic. But before we get out of college football, Joe, how much college football do you watch? And when it comes to the new 12-team playoff, let me get your thoughts on what the 12 teams look like to date and how you feel about that overall, the new system by itself altogether.
Yeah, you would not catch me with my pants down about not watching college football. I'm prepared. I'm prepared about, the ins and the outs and the teams. And I love it. I love it. And I love the parity. I love when you look at the top five, there are names that we're not used to. Oregon at number one. Yeah, we know they are a storied program, but them being number one. What about Indiana being number 5 ranked? And this is
Indiana's in the top 5, Joe.
And this is the ranking
by new 12-team system, and Indiana is in the top 5.
Indiana is in the top 5, and they're in the Big Ten. So again, this rankings. I think 8 out of the 13 members on the ranking or that committee have coached or played college ball. So this is somebody that's sitting on their chair and not watching and not know how the game is played. That's huge.
For the people that's watching, before you continue, Joe, right now 12 is Georgia, 7-2. Ole Miss is 11, 8-2. Fresh off beating Georgia's ass. We're not going to get to that right now, though. Alabama's 10, Miami's 9, Notre Dame is 8, Tennessee is 7, BYU is 6. Okay, BYU is behind Indiana. Indiana's 5. BYU is 6 in the top 12. Okay, this is awesome. Penn State is in the top 4. Texas at 3. Ohio State at 2. Oregon at 1. Wait a minute, Joe. Before you continue, Final 4, top 4 right now. Penn State, Texas, Ohio State, and Oregon. Wait a minute. Not an SEC team in the top 4. Not the SEC team in the top 5. Joe, give me your thoughts and your take on the new 12-team playoff and so far to date, how the order just was read out.
I love the order that was just ran out. However, Stu, with the conference realignment, we have to remember that Texas is in the SEC.
So, I forgot. That's right,
okay.
Joe. Okay. Oh my God.
So they have one in the top 5, but look at that. Look at that top 5. Look at that top 5, and when you look at it, you can always gripe because Indiana is undefeated. Penn State has lost 1 game. I would gripe why is not Indiana number 3? Because they're both in the Big Ten. We don't want to have to spend too much time on that, but that's how the committee has to decide things. I know Penn State lost a close game to Ohio State down to the wire. They were in the red zone a lot of times. But I just love the parity. The NIL is doing this to us. When you look at BYU and you're looking at being able to pay players, it's spread out a little bit more. Although the Big Ten has 4 teams in the top 5, and the SEC has 5 teams in the top 12. So 9 of the 12 teams are still dominated by the Big Ten and SEC. However, but again, there's only 1 team, only 4 can go. And as of now, a lot of people would say that why Georgia's out of the playoff right now. The reason why they're out of the playoff right now is that Boise State is number 13, and the 13th, the champion of the non-Power 5, they also get in automatic bids. So the 4 conference winner gets in automatically, and the 5th conference champion of the non-Power 5. So that's why they will scoot Georgia out, although Georgia's number 12.
We're going to talk several times before any decisions are made, but if it was going down today, who would you say would be the number 1 team to walk away as the champion of this season? I know we're going to change it 3 or 4 times. I know there's a lot that needs to take place, but if you were to say the number 1 team right now is bam, you would say who? Do you agree with the poll?
I absolutely agree with the poll, and I would have to go with Oregon the way they're doing, and Dan Lanning coming from Coach Kirby Smart's tree playing defense. We don't think about Oregon playing lights out defense, but that's exactly what he's doing, and he's coaching his butt off. I would agree with this poll right now. Oregon is rolling.
Your boy, one last dude, Ryan Stewart, Stewart Media and Entertainment, spending some time with Joe Hamilton, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer and Indianapolis Colts. We will talk about the NFL shortly. Before we get out of the world of college football, you're a quarterback, Heisman runner-up at the quarterback position. Shedeur Sanders is having an incredible year. There's several questions I could ask you about Colorado, Shedeur, Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders. We're not going to do Deion. You and I have been debating Deion and arguing about Deion monthly for like the last 4 or 5 years. Today, we're not going to do that. I want your thoughts on who the best college quarterback to date is, and if you had to name your top 3 quarterbacks to date in college football, who would they be?
Yeah, man, I don't like moving the goalposts, but sometimes the goalpost needs to be moved when guys get under pressure. Guys get a lot of things put on their shoulder as far as anticipation. As far as projection, there's no doubt Shedeur Sanders has handled the pressure. He's handled the limelight. He's handled the offensive line and being able to be durable. My goodness, how many hits have he taken? And when you look at him play the game of quarterback and you hear his offensive coordinator talk about him, he studies. The game is slowing down. He's drawing up plays on the sideline. He's suggesting plays. It's an NFL offense. Every throw he can make. When you throw, I love watching guys, when you throw a swing route or you throw a check down, are you trying to throw it through a brick wall, or are you just going to give a catchable ball?
The touch it needs.
Yes, he throws a catchable ball when needed. He throws a hard ball when needed, but you very seldom, when you watch a Colorado game, see Shedeur Sanders fooled. He might turn the ball over, make a bad throw here and there, but he's not fooled. I mean, your coverage disguise, you didn't trick him. So I would put him number 1. I would put Cam Ward number 2, and they say close battle. I just don't think Cam Ward is as polished in the pocket. I mean, he makes a lot of plays, but he makes a lot of broken down plays when the pocket breaks down, extending.
He's finding a way to fix a bad play.
Yeah, and he's finding a way to win. So it's something to be said about winning plays and making plays that needs to be made. But what about just 1, 2, 3 ball out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ball out on the outside shoulder, the timing routes that's going to need to be made in the NFL. I saw him make a play against Georgia Tech, the way he threw a ball from one hash and an out route to the deep out to the other hash on a 12-yard out combine route. That'll play in the NFL. I have him too. And number 3, I have Quinn Ewers. And, you know, Quinn Ewers, he came back and looked a little shoddy against Georgia, but he was hurt a little bit. That's to be accepted. You're going to have to chalk it up with a lot of quarterbacks of bad games. I want to talk about briefly, though, Stu, Carson Beck. You can run your way out of a high draft pick. You can run your way out of a first-round grade. And that's what Carson Beck has done to himself, because when you look at it, you cannot be a statue anymore in the NFL. You're either going to have to be a pocket passer that can process very, very well, knows where to get the ball, tight windows, anticipation, leading, and he fell off. You know, remember now, they were saying he was the number 1 pick projected going into this season, and he's just not putting up the numbers. He's not even.
I saw a poll today. He's not even top 10 right now.
No, we went from top 5 to almost second to third round. That's because of decision making. That's because when somebody touch your feet, that's another thing. When you're in the quarterback and somebody around you and keep tapping you, your ankles and everything, not many people can play under that pressure, under that duress. And he's folding right now, in my opinion, and he's lacking confidence right now.
This wasn't the plan, Joe, but the reason why I'm so excited about this partnership with Stewart Media Entertainment and Joe Hamilton is because we've known each other for over 30 years.
Yes.
We saw each other play high school ball. We grew up in the same areas. We probably had our first beer on the same road. We go way back. We know the same people. We talk weekly about sports, life, family, God. So I'm very excited about being able to go in depth with you on several different topics, whether it's sports related or not.
Amen.
While you mentioned Carson Beck, let's dig a little bit deeper with that, and then we'll move into something else and get to the NFL and let you get out of here for the night.
Yes.
It's got to be different when you're driving a freaking Lamborghini on campus. It's got to be different when you've got a bank account or bank accounts, plural, that have 7 digits worth of cash in them. It's got to be different when you're not just dealing with regular girlfriend drama, college player, college quarterback, girlfriend drama. Because of who you are, what you do, how much you make, and what you drive, you got grown woman drama if you want it.
Right.
How do these kids, and why has Carson Beck disappeared like he's disappeared this year? How do these kids overcome the aspect of the economics that are now in college football?
It's funny you asked that question because it's very, very, it's not simple, but that's how that's how I try to tell you my top players.
Something else. With a son who's being recruited at the quarterback position, who's a junior, who will be a senior next year. Tell me how the game has changed and what this means and why Carson Beck is this Carson Beck and not the old Carson Beck. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Joe.
No, it is a new Carson Beck because expectations now. And I gave so much kudos to Carson Beck for sticking it out, for not transferring in the transfer portal. This is a guy that was there ahead of Stetson Bennett. This is the guy that's supposed to be projected to play a lot of football games for the University of Georgia, and he stuck it out. So he stuck it out and had an amazing year last year. And then he got on film. Then he got recognized, notoriety, and he earned his NIL with play on the football field. He did not earn those NIL deals before he was able to perform. He earned it, but it was a little too much. And I'm not ashamed to say that because that's how I kind of rank my quarterbacks you just asked me about. Because we can't say Shedeur Sanders don't have all that. You remember this?
He does. He does.
Right. All that. He's got chains. He's playing with a $100,000 chain on. Right. I mean, he bought his dad a house, so he's heavily paid too. Is the team or is the quarterback that's able to compartmentalize those things, put it aside, and pressure is just one of those things that makes diamonds to guys like Shedeur, and for guys like Carson Beck, it bursts pipes. It bursts pipes. So much expectation. It's like the weight of the world is on his shoulder when he goes out there to play for the University of Georgia. I don't see him letting it rip. I don't see him having fun. I see him out there trying to prove something and trying to just, live up to it. And he's playing scared now. Can you possibly fathom me saying Carson Beck is playing scared? No, that's how I see when he's talking about making throws. It's not confident throws.
This man is an NCAA championship quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's been to the mountaintop and won.
This guy, man, I'm telling you, he went in this year as a top 5 pick, and all that was too much for him to handle. That expectation, and to your point, which is valid, the Lamborghini and the NIL, the private jet that he has access to, that was too much for him. That was too much for him to handle, and people talking about it in the newspaper, just a tad bit too much. And hopefully somebody can grab him and kind of bring him back to just playing football, because I don't think he's having fun right now.
Time to shut things down with Macedonia finest, Jamestown's finest, Joe Hamilton. We'll talk about a lot, y'all. We're going to talk about a lot. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. We're going to do a lot of things, too, when it comes to taking the show out on the road and being live. So y'all make sure y'all keep up with what's going on. Let's get into the world of football for one question, then we'll let you go, Joe. Thank you for your time. It's reported that Caleb Williams' teammates were in favor of him being benched. Literally went to the coach and said, we think you should sit this dude down. Tom Brady made comments this past weekend saying many young quarterbacks aren't ready year one. You, as a former quarterback in college and in the National Football League, do you think quarterbacks need time to develop, or do they need to be thrown in the fire immediately? If they do get time to develop, how long should that developmental process be before they're put on the field? Give me your thoughts on what's going on with Caleb Williams and that quarterback situation I just mentioned.
Yeah, one size does not fit all. I would say that, and that's not the real answer I want to give, but I have to give it. I would initially say that, yeah, they need time. Obviously, they needs time. But can you remember about the draft grade that you even gave Caleb Williams? And I don't even know, but I can imagine what you gave him. I know what I gave him. I gave him a shotgun guy. He's a wild player. He's a wild player. He extends plays. But I initially went to, can that work in the NFL? So now, when the Bears have really messed Caleb Williams up, and the Bears organization is known for that. They're known for that. They messed
especially with quarterbacks.
They messed Trubisky up because he had 3 different quarterbacks in 3 different years. Same thing with Justin Fields. 3 different offensive coordinators in 3 different years. How are you going to develop? And they just fired Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator for the Bears. And what does Caleb Williams do? Now, again, you handed a guy a playbook like he's a veteran. You handed a guy a playbook like he's a free agent like Kirk Cousins that's been around in the NFL. If you're going to start these young guys, give them a little bit like you're feeding a baby. Have the reads and the check with me's and all those things dumbed down a little bit. Yeah, the veteran wide receivers, they're not going to like it. If your team is right around the corner within a win-now situation, they're not going to like it because you're dealing with the rookie. But that's what you have to do, or you're going to ruin their confidence. That's where you get teammates talking about this guy's not ready. They like him as a player, but he's not ready. I'm not sure who their backup is right now, but they want some guy in there to say, this is another season gone. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to play this game of football, but this season is a waste because we have a quarterback that's not quite ready. But Stu, here's the deal. C.J. Stroud messed it up for the waiting of a quarterback. Jaden Daniels this year.
And you mentioned Stroud, and he's been struggling a little bit this year, especially the past few weeks.
Yes, in the sophomore slump, but you can see he's ready. You can see he's
agreed.
Struggling. He's struggling because a lot of NFL quarterbacks struggle. He's not struggling because he's overwhelmed and it's too much on him. Look at Jaden Daniels right there. That guy gets it, and that guy is ready to play. But let's go back to 6 years in college. Started off at Arizona State, played a lot of ball at LSU, so he's ready. And you have an offensive coordinator.
Just like Bo Nix. Bo Nix played 6 years in college too.
Yeah, and Bo Nix is playing really, really well. And you have coaches, when you're talking about Sean Payton, and you have coaches, and then Kingsbury, that's adapting to that young quarterback. Even the offensive coordinator, a rookie offensive coordinator last year with the Texans. What is C.J. Stroud's strength? And they adapt to that. That's not what they're doing to Caleb Williams. And it does not surprise me at all that his teammates are saying bench him. And bench him sound like a bad word. but they're basically saying he's not ready right now, and you're not doing anything to help him. That's why I think they're calling for his head.
Joe, before I let you go, man, simple thing. No Lamar Jackson, no Patrick Mahomes. You're offensive head coach. You're you're an NFL head coach. You're an offensive coordinator. You're a president. You're a GM. What quarterback do you want? You can't pick Mahomes. You can't pick Lamar Jackson. What quarterback do you want right now?
Ooh-wee.
I got to make you think sometimes.
That's easy. That's easy for me. It's a toss-up, but I'm going Justin Herbert. I'm going Justin Herbert.
Chargers.
I would have for you went Joe Burrow, but I'm going Justin Herbert because a little better pocket awareness and legs, tougher. I just love his moxie. And then he's not injury prone. Joe Burrow's been pretty much injured. Yes.
Every other year, so he's beat up. 30 minutes with your boy, Joe Hamilton, Heisman runner-up, Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, Master Junior Fox. 30 strong minutes. Look forward to this, man. It typically it's to be me, you, and Doug, and maybe a few other people. So there's a lot to look forward to, man. This is fun. It's funny. It's comfortable. It's a little bit of ministry in there. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about high school recruiting and how it's going for your son. Quarterback shoot training. You got a lot of stuff going on with camps. I'm really excited about this partnership, man. I think
iron sharpens iron, man. And I look up to you, man. There's no doubt about it. It's the fact that
Proverbs 28:7.
Man, when you can fellowship with your partner, your friend, your boy, your little country mate, when you can do that, man, and also give back, man. It's a blessing. I can't wait, man. Hey, I got chill bumps, brother. Put me in the game, bro.
Put me in the game, coach. Chill bumps are good. Hey, man, it's your boy, One Life Stu, Joe Hamilton. A lot of good things going on with Stewart Media and Entertainment. Y'all keep it locked. Thank y'all for joining. We're looking forward to doing more. Don't forget, every single Monday and Thursday, 7 a.m., YouTube, Facebook, your boys, Two Live Stews, Stewart Media and Entertainment. We're here for you. And if you can't catch it live at 7 on Mondays and Thursdays, go to YouTube and catch it whenever time allows. As always, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. If you don't know him, you need to find him and show him love. As all he's showing you, nothing but love. Thank you, Joe. We'll talk again soon, and thank y'all for watching. Peace.